Yeah, so a bunch of times in my dad's speeches, we hear about Carpenters Hall, is where the first Continental Congress was taking place.
So this is really where it all began in terms of a legislative process, and it's where the first prayer in Congress happened.
So just imagine, all those guys are in here. Patrick Henry is here, George Washington is here, John Jay is here, Samuel Adams is here, all these cool guys from the Revolution.
And what surprised me the most going inside was how small it was, thinking about the fact, like the signers of the Declaration, there were actually 56 guys, 56 delegates at that first Continental Congress. So it was a lot of guys crammed into a small space.
So all those guys have gathered here, and one of them gets up and says, let's start with a prayer. And you remember the response? No, wait, we've got every denomination possible here. So who was it that stood up? Samuel Adams. So the father of the American Revolution stands up and says, I'm no bigot, I can pray with every man in this room, right? Okay.
So this was something they actually did together. This was a corporate prayer together. So all these guys from across the country, for the first time beginning to think of themselves as a nation. And here they were coming together, and to start that with a prayer is powerful.
Something that my dad told me is that George Washington knelt the whole 3 hours of the prayer.
Patrick Henry was kneeling, George Washington was kneeling. Others said those guys never left their knees during that whole prayer. So the fact that he was already that early in the Revolution on his knees asking God to intervene.
Experts say that the Founding Fathers were atheists and deists, but it seems kind of unusual that these atheists and deists would be praying for 3 hours and having a Bible study.
Nobody talks about that anymore. Even the guys who are giving tours there at Carpenters Hall, they don't really talk about the faith of the Founding Fathers. They don't talk about what happened in that building that was so instrumental in the Revolutionary War. And that's why we do what we do. We go around, we talk about this kind of stuff that's pretty much unknown to most people.